Hi, and welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we showcase animals that are looking for forever homes from the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Linda Shea. With me is Randy Cooper. And this week we actually don't have any dogs for you. We've got some felines and we've got some of our exotic pets that are looking to be adopted. All of our dogs that are on the floor either have pending adoptions or are set up to go home already. So that's always a good thing. So our first little guy that we're going to look at is actually a little girl. This is Darcy. She is about 3 months old, so she's a very, very young guinea pig. She is a girl, and she was previously owned and turned in by her owner. We are an open admission shelter, meaning that we take in any animal from within Frederick County that needs us. Guinea pigs are not foreign to us. We get them on a regular basis. What we encourage people to do, though, is that before you acquire an exotic pet of any nature, even if that includes a rodent, you want to put some thought into it. If your family circumstances change, if you end up moving, if you develop allergies, you really have to take into consideration that when you acquire a pet, regardless of where you get it from, there's a commitment level that you need to be able to make to an animal. But Darcy is with us now. She's about 3 months old, so she's very young. And the reason that she was turned in, there was some financial issues with the owner. So again, there are resources out there if you've got an issue feeding your pets. We do have a food bank. If you are a resident of Frederick County and are struggling to feed your pet, we offer the food bank sort of as a stopgap, as a help temporarily. There's other agencies in the Frederick area that also have food banks for pet food. So if you need to feed your pet, that's one resource. And there's other resources. So if that's an issue, if that's something that's going to keep you from keeping your pet, you want to make sure that you contact the shelter so we can offer you some information on better ways to keep your pet. But right now, Darcy is with us. Guinea pigs are friendly. They're usually very sturdy pets. They do require special diet, and we've got lots of information for you if you're interested in adopting her. This little guy is Danny. He is an adult guinea pig, and he came in with Darcy. And again, he was turned in. Both of them were turned in. Their owner was experiencing some financial issues. But Danny is also very social, easy to handle. You can see, even though they're prey animals, they don't exhibit some of the nervousness that some of the guinea pigs can. Likes to be held, has been in a family environment, has lived with other guinea pigs, so very social. And again, the one thing that you want to just take into consideration when you're either adopting or acquiring an animal from any source is the commitment. Guinea pigs can live 8 or 9 years. It depends on their care, it depends on their health, it depends on any pre-existing condition or genetics. But 8 years is probably an average lifespan. In addition to good nutritional, good quality pellets, they can eat dark greens, spinach leaves, green peppers, but with that, if they're not used to that kind of food, you want to introduce that very, very slowly. Guinea pigs also need exercise time, so while you might have a really nice housing unit for them, they need to experience outside of the cage exercise time, and that includes setting up a room that's safe. You might want to put down some carpet squares, different textures. They're not wonderful at climbing stairs, so you want to make sure if you have a bi-level housing setup, you want to put ramps in there so that they can climb up, but you don't want to make them too high up. You don't want them to get injured. And guinea pigs, just like any pet, do need vet care on occasion for illness. If you notice any teary eyes, any sneezing, they need to get to your vet, but it's always a good idea to establish a relationship ahead of time with a small animal vet that would be fluent in guinea pig, and just get a yearly checkup just to make sure, nose to tail exam to make sure that everything's working right. But this is Danny, and he is also available for adoption. Bugatti may be a familiar face if you frequently watch Pet Pals. He's been on before. Bugatti's been at the shelter since April 22nd, was turned in by an owner. The child in the family developed allergies or had allergies, so they were unable to keep him. Bugatti is about 2 years old, and he is a beautiful, unique color. He's got cream with gray in there that I've not seen before. with some white highlights. So he's very, very unique looking. He's very social. He's easy to handle. Sometimes I think bunnies get overlooked. People don't actually consider them to be pets, but they're very social. A lot of times when you talk to folks in the bunny community, bunnies can have a best friend. They can find another bunny that they end up bonding with. And if that's something you're interested in, I think bunnies, especially as prey animals, need to have a friend in their life. We have pretty much bunny experts on a volunteer base that can help you do that, to find a friend if you have an existing bunny or if you were interested in adopting more than one at the same time. But Bugatti is with us. Prior to leaving here, our bunnies also get spayed and neutered. The adoption fee for bunnies is $50, and that covers getting them spayed and neutered. While they're here, we give them a good diet. We offer them greens. We have a part-time contracted vet on staff, so if anything happens, we can make sure that they get the medical attention that they need. And sometimes that's a question that comes up, about the medical care that we provide animals. We have a full-time vet tech, we have a part-time vet tech, and we have a part-time contracted veterinarian. So animals that come in that are either injured or sick, if it's something that we have capabilities of handling here, we do provide palliative care, we provide antibiotics, we provide proper nutrition. So we do provide care. I think folks that are not familiar with sheltering may have the impression that when animals come in, especially exotics, they're simply just put in a cage, and that's not the case. They do get exams, they do get checked at, and our staff, I can say, is very experienced, and a lot of our staff have been here for a long time, so they know what to look for as far as good health versus needing vet attention. But Bugatti is here looking for a home. Again, he's been here since April. It's not a terribly long time, but we would certainly like to see him adopted into a family. This little girl is Kitty. She came to us just a couple weeks ago, but she's acclimated nicely in the shelter. She's about 1.5 to 2 years old. And the reason that Kitty is here, every time I talk about animals or anybody talks about our shelter animals, there's always a story behind them, and every story is unique. But Kitty came to us from a family whose aunt had to be placed into hospice. So her original owner was unable to care for her. She was placed with family members a couple of months ago, and then she's ended up here. So those are situations that the animal has no control over, the family has no control over, but she's here with us now, and she's very young. She's only 1.5 to 2. Prior to leaving here, we will make sure that she is spayed and microchipped. Upon entry, we went ahead and caught her up on vaccines, on preventatives. She's tested negative for leukemia and for feline leukemia and FIV. And she's lived with other cats. She lived with a miniature dachshund. She's been around children 4 and up. And she's color-coded orange, so you can tell she's friendly, she's easy to handle, she's very social, and those are all pluses, and those are all redeeming features. So one of the recommendations we make, if you're looking to adopt an animal, you certainly want to come into the shelter, because sometimes if you're looking at a picture or even viewing them on Pet Pals, you don't get the real-life face-to-face introduction to an animal. But she is very sweet, very social. And certainly we're looking forward to placing her into a home that can maintain her for the rest of her life. Cats can live an average of 15 years, but much longer if they've got proper care. This little girl is Snickers. She is also about 1.5 to 2 years old and looks very similar to Kitty. She's in being a tortoiseshell with the white markings on her. She also came to us, actually she came to us previously owned, and the person had found her as a stray in the neighborhood of Heather Ridge a couple of weeks prior. So estimating the last week in April, this cat was found as a stray, but then the person took her in to try to find her owner, had no success, so she's ended up here. We went ahead and spayed Snickers, so she's recovering from that. She's recovering nicely. We've gone ahead and given her the vaccine she needs, the preventatives, flea and tick flea prevention, deworming. We also do something, we do a couple of different types of dewormings, since cats can be prone to having a couple of different types of parasites. And she is also color-coded orange. She seems to be a little more active than Kitty, but just as social. So when you look at Snickers, what we're witnessing here, she's a little more interested in seeing what's going on around the room, looking to see if there's anything interesting that she can go chase after, run after. So a touch more active. And again, even though you've got cats such as Kitty and Snickers that look, you know, fur color and their body type, they look very similar. Personalities can be very diametrically opposite. So again, if you're looking for an animal, our suggestion is you may have in mind what you want to look at. You may have in mind a fur color or a breed, but ultimately that personality is what you're going to have to live with for the next 15, 18, 20 years. So you want to come in and actually visit with some of our animals. But this is Snickers, again, a female, 1.5 to 2 years old, looking for a forever home. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we're going to take a look at 5 more of our feline friends here at the shelter.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Do you know the top risk factors for breast cancer? Number 1, being a woman. Number 2, getting older. So, if you are a woman and 40 or older, you should be screened for breast cancer. Talk to your healthcare provider today about getting screened with a clinical breast exam and mammogram. Doing this regularly is important, as early detection can save lives. For more information, contact the Frederick County Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Screening Program at 301-600-3362 or visit our website at frederickcountymd.gov/cancer prevention.
Did you know that one of the leading causes of death in America is motor vehicle accidents? Hello, I'm Sergeant Jody Maybush of the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. According to the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration, each year traffic crashes kill more people in Maryland than homicides, and over 90% of total crashes are preventable incidents caused by driver error. Motorists can help law enforcement in preventing these tragedies by making the right choices on the road. Remember, speed kills, so slow down. For every mile per hour that you drive, the likelihood of you being involved in a crash significantly increases. Avoid distractions such as talking, texting, or emailing while you drive, and always wear your safety belt. The most important thing is that you arrive to your destination safely. So please, drive smart and help us in keeping Maryland roadways safe.
Looking to get fit this winter? Sign up for some of our fitness classes that will fit you best. Our classes range from Adult Active Yoga, Mighty Fit Yoga, Cardio Sculpting Party, Power Yoga, Mighty Fit Pilates, Charqui and Total Body Fit, Yoga Mind, Body and Spirit, Sula's Hoop Body Sculpt Class, or Walking Fitness Club. For more information, go to recreator.com.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. We're going to take a look at 5 more of our feline friends that are looking for forever homes at the shelter. First up is Susan. Susan came to us as a stray first part of May. She's about 1 to 2 years old, and we went ahead and named her. With our strays that come in, we do give them names. It makes it just more personal when we're addressing them or discussing them with potential adopters. So she looks more like a Susan than a cat 3825, which is her intake number. She's very adorable. She's very petite. She's only about 6 pounds, 11.5 ounces. We've snap tested her for leukemia and FIV. And even though she is very young, it looks like she's already had a litter of kittens. They did not arrive with her, so she came in by herself. So that's something to keep in mind if you have cats in your life. You want to make sure that you're getting them spayed and neutered. Every year we take in, last year we took in 4,900 animals, and about 2/3 of that number were cats and kittens. So cats populate very quickly, and when they decide to reproduce, it's not just one kitten at a time. It's 3, 4, 6 kittens at a time. So keep that in mind as a responsible pet owner. It's your job to get your animals spayed and neutered. So we're not sure where her kittens are. We do, when people bring in moms that look like they've just had kittens, we do ask them to look for the kittens, but moms can sometimes be stellar at moving their kittens around to places where you can't really find them. So you just want to be on alert. If you've got a pregnant female cat in your life, you want to keep an eye on her. If she's indoors, make sure she doesn't escape outdoors. But Susan is very friendly. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but she's kneading or making biscuits on Randy's knee. She's very social. She is easy to handle. Again, very petite and loving. So another good reason to come to the shelter. If you're looking for a cat to adopt, you probably want to come in and at least visit with Susan. This big guy is Mocha. He's the only male cat that we've got on the show this week. He's a return to shelter. He left the shelter about a year ago, adopted, and then his adoptive family moved and they were unable to take him. So again, what we see here, probably the number 1 and 2 reasons that people relinquish pets is that they're moving or develop allergies. So you want to make sure if you're going to incorporate a pet into your family, and you hear me say this over and over again, you need to be in it for the long haul. You need to make that commitment and understand that your situation may change. The animal that you've incorporated into your home, you're the one making the choice for them to bring them into your family. So you owe them at least the commitment to keep them or to try to make it work to the best of your ability. And if you're unable to, that's why we're here as a last resort. But a lot of times, we see animals that are brought here, and when we talk to the folks, they just haven't provided the forethought before getting the animal at all. But Mocha is here. He was adopted out about a year ago. So in June of this year, 2015, he will be 2 years old. So he's sort of young. He is about 11.5 pounds, so he's bigger than the girls that we've been looking at. He's very social, he's very sweet. He is already neutered and microchipped as a result of being adopted from the shelter. So we want to make sure that, that we are at least helping out with not creating extra animals that are unwanted. So prior to leaving here, all dogs, all cats, and all bunnies are spayed or neutered. When animals are relinquished to the shelter, we ask for information, and we get what we call a profile. So with Mocha, it looks like he has not been around children or toddlers, but again, that's it's case by case. So if you do have children or little ones in your family and you wanted to adopt him, we do have an interview process where we sit down with you, and it's your opportunity to ask us as many questions as you need to about the animal that you want to adopt, and in turn we can offer some suggestions or advice to introducing them to your family successfully. One of the things that we suggest with cats especially is to isolate them in an area all their own for about 10 days. That gives them a chance to acclimate to your home a little more gently, get used to the sounds and smells and routine from a safe place with things that are familiar to them before you let them loose through your whole house. But this is Mocha, our big boy at 11.5 pounds, looking for a forever home. This little girl is Rita. She came in as a stray on May 20th, so not too long ago, and she came in from the Selwyn Drive area in Frederick. We hold on to stray animals for 5 days. Unless they are suffering medically, then we will send them to a vet to decide what a humane decision would be for them. But for 5 days they're here at the shelter. They may or may not be processed to the adoption floor within those 5 days. They just can't leave our possession for 5 days. We give owners an opportunity to come forward to find their pets here. We're the only shelter in Frederick County, 1832 Rosemont Avenue, and a lot of times folks that live in Emmitsburg or Mount Airy, Newmarket, sometimes they fail to see the connection that we are the only shelter. So even though you live far away from the shelter, your animal may very well end up here if it's running at large, if it gets loose from the house. We have officers that go out to all areas of the county. We also have citizens that will find animals in their neighborhood and bring them to us, knowing that they will be provided a safe place until their owner comes for them. But Rita came to us as a stray. She's only about 8 to 10 months old, a little girl. We named her Rita. We did provide her all the preventatives, the vaccines, the deworming that she needs. We went ahead and tested her negative for leukemia and FIV. She is also color-coded orange, so her personality is, she's very social, a little interested in what's going on around the room, but more interested, I guess, in her handler at the moment. So when you compare cats like Kitty and Rita, they're more interested in their person. Snickers is more interested in seeing what's going on out and about in the room. So cats definitely, and dogs, all creatures have their own personality that's unique just to them. But Rita is only about 6 pounds, so she's teeny tiny, on the smaller side, and almost fully grown at 8 to 10 months. So if you're looking for a cat that's sort of on the petite side, a little bit younger but not quite a kitten, Rita would be an excellent choice. This little girl is Katniss. So for the folks that have been watching Pet Pals and coming into the shelter asking where are our kittens, they are starting to return from foster care. Katniss came into the shelter back on May the 8th, and now it's the end of the month, and she's just now returning from foster care. She's a little over 3 pounds. Kittens need to be 3 pounds in order to be spayed or neutered prior to leaving the shelter, so that's when we start bringing them back in from foster care. Katniss is color-coded blue, meaning that she's easy to handle, she's social, she's friendly, she's got good manners as far as interacting with people and other cats and kittens. And if you ever have questions, one of the benefits of foster care providers is that these animals actually live in a home with a family. And so when they come back to the shelter, we have so much more information about the animal and how they interact than we do with strays that come in from the community. So Katniss has lived in a home. There are other adult cats in that home. It's a quiet home, but that doesn't preclude her from being social. And so if you've got younger kids, that's something that you want to just discuss and ask us about. A lot of times, again, you may have in mind a certain cat color that you're looking for, but ultimately that personality is going to be what's going to steal your heart. So Katniss is one of the many kittens that are starting to come back to the shelter. We only have a couple on the adoption floor, but over the next few weeks or so that will increase tremendously. So this is Katniss. She's only about 3 months old, about 3 pounds in weight, and she is up for adoption. The last little kitten we're going to take a look at is Abby. Abby is also a product of foster care. So she's come back after living in a family with adults, with teenagers, high schoolers, and friends, with a family that has small dogs and other adult cats in their home. She's very social, she's easy to handle, she's very inquisitive. So again, this is what we call kitten season. So while we have a number of kittens in foster care still, they are starting to make their way back to the shelter for adoption, and Abby is no exception. Abby's story is she was left at the back door of the shelter in a cardboard box. I can't ask you enough as citizens of our community to please not do that. We have a backdoor buzzer. We have staff here 7 days a week that will take in animals that need us. Leaving them in a cardboard box at any back door, front door, leaves them vulnerable to predators, leaves them vulnerable if they pop out of the box and they travel across the road getting hit by a car. So the better thing to do, regardless of how much tape you might use, regardless of how you think you're securing the box, is to ring the back door buzzer of the shelter and to bring them in during hours when our staff is here, which is 7 days a week. If you need information on how to relinquish pets, you can always call ahead, and we're more than happy to try to accommodate what you need. But we always feel bad when animals are left at the back door. We don't have any information on them. We don't know what their background or history is, so we make the best guess and try to move forward from there. But Abby was, fortunately, we took her in, we placed her in foster care, so she's had a great life so far, and we are looking forward to placing her in a forever home. She's already been spayed, meaning that she's already been microchipped as well, so she would be a relatively quick adoption. Our adoption process includes doing preliminary checks. We want to make sure that wherever you live allows pets, that you have enough information to make the adoption successful, and that you're able to give Abby a home forever. So if you're looking for a little kitten, you can start looking now, but this is one that's available at the moment. So thanks for joining us on Pet Pals. Hope you have a great week. If any of the animals this week have caught your attention, you might want to stop into the shelter to visit. Other than that, we wish you have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Pet Pals.